How we doing, guys? Amy, Sebastian, how y'all doing?
Yep,
Very
excellent. Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, very
Very
good.
good.
Nice. And
But
yeah,
trying to digest Matthew Perry's death, but death.
I
But anyway,
know.
for real, man, that came
So
out of
sad.
nowhere. Yes,
Yeah.
very
yeah.
sad. Yes. They say that stuff happens in threes, right? I don't know. At least
Uh-oh.
that's a thing in the States that they say that celebrity deaths happen in threes. So I'm just like, oh no.
Who's next?
What's
Yeah.
yeah, who's next? So anyway, yeah, absolutely. That is sad news for sure. Um, what's the how you guys do it? You guys are in the UK. For those of y'all that watch whatever, I'm in the States here. Y'all in the UK. How's the UFO world going on in the UK right now? I see a lot of news, coming out from there. I don't know what's the word on the street.
I feel like it's been quite quiet in terms of UFO news the last couple of weeks. I don't know if I've been so super busy with sick children and all the rest of it. So I don't know if I've just been blind to it all. But have you seen anything interesting, Sebastian?
No, not really. No, I was just about to say there was nothing really that I see that happened here over the last few weeks. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the UK media, but it's mainly US centric, I think, right now.
Yeah, yeah. I,
Yes.
I did read a Daily Mail article about some FBI agents that supposedly
Well, yeah, exactly.
went to some space lab, Falcon Space Lab, it was called. Yeah, that came out of the Daily Mail. Everyone was kind of sharing that. I talked about it yesterday on the live stream that I did a little bit. It just seemed weird. It just seemed so weird. Like they showed up at this place and were like, we're a special investigative unit of the FBI. We investigate UFOs. Okay, you just telling people that like out in the open? Like I thought it was secret. Like why would you that just seems so odd. So I don't know. You know, we'll put a link to that story if you want to find out more about it. I honestly didn't think it was worth covering, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
But okay, I mean that's interesting. So everything that comes out a lot that you've been seeing is they're printing it, but it's about stuff in the US. Right? That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy that I mean, I read that same story that you're talking about right now, right? Do you know that guy? I mean, or have you heard about him before? Mark Sokol of Falcon. How's it called? Falcon Labs or something like this. Falcon
Falcon
Space
Falcon
Laboratory.
Space Lab. Yeah. I've heard of the other guy involved, Jeremy Riss,
Oh yeah.
RHYS or something. That guy is he's online. He's known as the alien scientist, and he's I mean, well known in the UFO community for debunking Bob Lazar. So the famous
Oh,
Area
okay.
51 whistleblower, like he's got this whole website. He's gone on podcasts and done interviews where he says Bob Lazar is full of BS. And that's what I know him from.
Yeah.
And he's part of this Falcon Space Lab. So basically the story is they said that they had enriched uranium there because they're working on UFO propulsion. So they're actually trying to create a flying saucer that floats. So, I don't know. They said they're like almost there. Like, what does that mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're literally in a garage. Like, I mean, I can't imagine that interstellar space travel, we're going to crack the nut in a random garage in New Jersey. I just don't see that happening. But whatever. I mean, these guys are at least doing stuff, physical stuff. I mean, I'll give them that, right? They're at least like getting down and dirty and working with their hands and trying to create something. But yeah, that's why supposedly these FBI agents showed up there, said you have enriched uranium. They did
Mm.
show CCTV footage, so like closed caption, security camera footage basically of these two guys coming in, and they definitely look I don't want to say suspicious, but they definitely look like they came to ask questions. They got notebooks, they got pens, I don't know, I don't know. They flashed badges. What does that mean? I don't know. Could it all be a hoax, a setup, something to bring attention to their lab? Yeah, 100%. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. So who knows? Supposedly that's why they came, and that's what the story was about, basically. So, but anyway, again, we'll put a link to it. I don't think really there's anything there. I mean, I don't know. The only big story there, if true, would be that the FBI has agents, actually assigned to investigate UFOs, because that is not known. Nobody, there's no official office or anything about that. So if that were true, that is pretty interesting, but not crazy at the same time. First of all, what would the FBI be doing investigating UFO? It doesn't make sense. That's not their job. That just makes no sense to me.
No.
No, I agree. Totally agree.
So that's not what that office is for.
Yeah, bizarre.
So I don't know. Whatever. That is what it is. But no, main story I want to talk about, I actually have a video coming out. It should already be out, actually. By the time this podcast comes out, the video will already be up. It will have been released at 12, where I really dig into the details of this Galileo project tweet that happened. So I'll read it to you guys here. So again, they tweeted it out on Sunday. All right. And it says the Galileo Project is investigating an event in New England on Friday, October 20th, between 7:30 and 8 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Eastern United States time. And then they asked, do you have an outdoor security camera with audio that was running in this window of time? They mean, all right. If so, we would be grateful to receive your footage. Upload video at, and then they put a hyperlink, right? A website you can go and fill out some information and basically upload your video that you have. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
That they're doing this, right? They're actually trying to, get information, data on something that they think happened during that time. And I guess they're going to investigate. I've never seen them do something like this. So kind of interesting. I don't know.
Yeah. Super interesting.
And I did find out a little bit of potentially maybe not what it is, but I don't know. I found something on Facebook from Mount Washington Observatory, which is up in this area, this 4-state area. And they talk about it, right? At 7:57 p.m. on October 20th, they put a post out that says, we have no idea, Northern New Hampshire, and especially Whitefield. We have no idea what shook your houses, rattled your windows, and made your cats very angry. So far, it does not sound like an earthquake. At this point, we think it's related to a sonic boom. But honestly, without more info, we know just as much as you do. So people on Reddit were saying it was a meteor, but I went to the International Meteor Organization website, and there is literally not a submission on October 20th.
Wow. Okay.
There is not. And what's weird about it is there's a submission for every single day, but October 20th has nothing.
Wow.
That's weird. Every other day, you go through all the September. I went back a few months. Every day in August, every day September, every day in October, there is at least something, and there's nothing that day. It's almost been erased or something. If there was something, it's really strange.
Isn't it?
I'm telling you, that is strange. That's the only day there's nothing. There's no. Whatever. And again, I'll put links to all this so you can check it out. And I'm sure I'll have it up on the screen for everybody here that I'll do in post. But yeah, so that's all I know about it. But yeah, kind of interesting.
Wow.
So did we have that impact? There were houses were shaking and stuff like that. Eh?
That's what they're saying. And people in the comments of the Mount Washington Observatory, that's what they were putting. Oh yeah, I felt something at my house. I live here. I felt something at this time, this, that, the other. So yeah, kind of interesting. It said, this one person put, I'm in Whitefield at 7:43 p.m. I don't know why how they know so specific time, does that make sense? That's I mean, I couldn't do that 10 minutes ago. Like I could, looking back 10 minutes, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So anyway, she writes, at 7:43 p.m., I heard what sounded like someone pounding down my front door. Only lasted about 10 seconds, but it was terrifying. So, and a lot of people are just putting that basically like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if that's the event that Galileo Project is talking about, but it's just all connects. It's in that time period. It's up in that area. I would imagine that's the same event that they're talking about. But again, I have no confirmation on that. That's just what I found from looking all this morning. I spent a couple hours just trying to, because I figured if I'm going to do a video on it,
Yeah.
I need something more than just the tweet.
Yeah.
I got to have some other things. So, and I also played a bunch of footage. If you watch that video, I played a bunch of footage about who Avi Loeb is, right? What the Galileo Project is, from the videos we did on Vetted. So it's a more rounded out video to get more information. So,
Yeah.
and again, for those listening who don't know, Avi Loeb works at Harvard. Galileo Project has started to investigate extraterrestrial technological objects. That's literally from their statement from their website. So from extraterrestrial technologically advanced civilizations, that is word for word from their website. So that's what they're, he had the thing in Papua New Guinea over the summer where they found sphericals. Still waiting to hear back on that, if that's ET or not. We don't know. So anyway, yeah, kind of interesting. Different way to look into this stuff. Does that make sense? Like it's a different way than just people sharing a video on TikTok and saying asking, what is this? And that becomes, the investigation. And anything that has to do with the government, they're not transparent like this. They're not like, okay, give us your video footage. We'll compile the data and see what's going on, So this is sort of a public, it probably is the only, besides MUFON, which is different, it's really the only public, like scientific led investigation into UAPs that involves the public, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like everyday people. So I don't know. I found this very interesting and,
Yeah, let's see what comes out of it.
Right.
Did you also? There's this thing about that Ring put out. That the camera company put out like a few months ago, where they said, "Send us your Ring camera footage of UFOs," right? And you can win up to $1 million, but it has to be. You have to send it to them by the 3rd of November. So in the next 3 days.
2 days. That was so interesting to see what comes out of that.
And obviously people made up all sorts of funny videos now, just for fun, right? Having like green aliens walking on the street, right? That's good fun.
Yeah.
But there was this other story last week, which I thought was really interesting. I mean, you might remember that back in July, AARO did a so the Dr. Kirkpatrick's office there in the Pentagon did a presentation to the Senate about a metallic orb that they had filmed because it was kind of flying under a Reaper drone. Do you remember that?
Yep.
So they have identified this object now, and I think apparently it was some sort of balloon that was basically smaller than 1.5 feet in Syria. Yeah. Like a balloon that is sent during one of those, family holidays and celebrations, right? So, that's what they say it was.
Yeah, I read that. I believe it was Chris Mellon's brother, Hunter Mellon, I think was a part of that, of identifying that as being a balloon. And I'll play the video here, the podcast, so you guys can see it. I actually used that video and the Vetted trailer at the very beginning that they released this footage, and now look, it's a balloon, for Christ's sake. Like this is like so many turn out to be balloons. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Like,
but it moves quite fast, right? I mean, if you see the video that the drone shot, right? It's kind of, it seems, I guess it was kind of done It's basically just I don't think it's real time. I mean, I think it's fast forward or something like this, right? Quite interesting.
Yeah, for sure. No, that yeah, the way they move in the air, and depending on if your plane is moving and it's stationary, it can look like it's moving faster too, right? You got to like consider all these things that are happening when it's recording. And like you said, they can even fast forward the footage, right, to whatever. The footage, it looks interesting because it does look like this silver orb is flying, right? And then you put it as like a military drone footage, and gives it that look, so people are like, oh, this is real, that's a real, oh my god, what is that thing? And someone before that footage had come out, someone released just a screenshot, so just an image, low quality image, and we're like, look, there's a silver orb hovering above this house, but it's not hovering. When you see the video, it's moving. It's like these things can just be like manipulated over and over again, just like reheating the same dish over and over again, and then it just becomes like disgusting, right? Like it's sort of the same thing. They just recycle this stuff. Yeah, I would wager that so many sightings are just literally everyday balloons that
really
yeah, I honestly would bet that that's the case. I remember being in Vegas when I went to Area 51, and we went to pick up our rental car, and I looked up in the sky and there was something floating. I'm like, what the heck is that? I mean, just black, just like right there. And I'm just like, does anyone else see this? It was like, what is going on? I get out my camera, I zoom in, it's balloons. They're just balloons, just regular balloon, but I can see how people would jump to that, you know what I mean? Without zooming in, without like, they may even zoom in and go, oh, it is balloons, but I'm just going to forget that. It's a UFO, like actually deny it to themselves. I unfortunately can't do that. If I see a balloon, it's a balloon. I'm calling it a balloon. Why lie to myself? I don't see the point. But yeah, everyday balloons, and on top of other everyday things that, go out in the sky and just fly away. And, I don't know. But yeah, that was interesting, Sebastian. You're right. And good to point that out, that because that was like one of their best videos. That was like, this is our best video we're going to put out, and it's a balloon. So I don't know what that says about Arrow, about how serious they are about looking into stuff, because they have to have better stuff than that. That can't be.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What are we? I don't know. But yeah, that is interesting. And the Ring doorbell thing is interesting too, Sebastian. I'm glad you brought that up.
So are they going to release that footage, Ring?
That's a great question, Amy. I as you said that before, like what would come out from it? That would be interesting if they release like the top 20 videos, right? So people could see them or something, or that too. I'm assuming the winner, they definitely would, but the winner, I mean, that would literally prove ET. That would be, because that's the only way you win the million, is if they can prove that it's from another planet or dimension or time. I mean, clearly nobody's going to win this $1 million. It's for, like, I mean, what are we talking about? I mean, that's just crazy. Why would you give it to them anyway? You could get way more money if you actually had proof.
Surely,
ET, right? Like, it's going to be people trying to fool them. And like Sebastian said, right, create some hoaxes, funny stuff, aliens walking by, and it is interesting. I mean, it was good marketing, got people talking about it.
Totally.
Could that be how we find out?
Yeah. Do you know, funny enough, that orb video that potentially is a balloon, I mean, it's still featured on the Arrow website, right? It has so little content, that website, but that they still have on there.
Yeah, because they didn't debunk it. Other people did, and they're like waiting for Arrow to update their website with this. I mean, speaking of Arrow, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, there is an event happening. I talked about it yesterday too. Let me see if I can find it here. There's an event happening with Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick in person, where he's going to be answering questions. Here it is. It's from the Hayden Center, November 15th, 7 p.m. Eastern, so Eastern United States time. It's called UAP, The Search for Clarity. So, and it's got Arrow's Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick, Washington Post reporter Shane Harris, and David Price is moderating. I don't know who that is. But yeah, so it's an in-person event. But they're also going to live stream it on YouTube, and that should be interesting. They're going to get a lot of crazy questions. People are going to bombard that thing because people just do not like that guy in the UFO community, like at all. They just think he's a double agent, hiding the truth. You name it, they think it. Some story did come out. Some guy with a show on YouTube. I mean, pretty much like we're doing with Vetted, really. It would be the same thing if this guy came out and said, I have a high value anonymous source. So, right, whatever that means, who says that Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick and Arrow secretly has this like other board of directors that no one knows about. And they're actually controlling Arrow, and that secret board of directors is made up of the people who run the legacy programs, meaning the crash retrieval programs, the reverse engineering programs. So the people they're trying to investigate, they're saying actually are the ones that run it, so they can hinder the investigation, right? They can make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And that's according to this high value source that is anonymous and one person, and we'll never know who that is. And the guy could be completely making it up, and we'll never know. But people jumped all over that on UFO Twitter. Oh my God, I made a video about it too. Like, guys, let's relax. We don't know if this is true. This is one guy, like, this is crazy. But that's UFO Twitter in a nutshell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, I don't know. This guy's got an uphill battle, Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick. I kind of feel bad for him in a way, just because he probably is just trying to do his job. We don't know all the things that are in his way of him preventing from him doing his job. You know what I mean? Like what roadblocks in Washington are getting in his way to want to maybe do more. It's not like you can just snap your fingers and things happen in Washington. I mean, that's just not how the government works here or anywhere else, I would imagine. So yeah, he'll never, unless he comes out with a UFO, like flying in one, like I got it. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna have faith in that guy, which just stinks. So, but I don't know. So anyway, all right. What else were we going to talk about? I forgot already what I mentioned before. The David
also, I mean, I think we should also say that sometimes people contact us, right?
Yeah,
with apparently incredible revelations, but then they just disappear again, or it never materializes, right?
Yeah. We did get, I get a lot of Reddit messages, and just comments in the chat, comments on YouTube, and then emails as well. And we did get one guy in particular who was quite aggressively trying to contact me, but I guess just I'm the face of the show, but whatever, just anybody, I guess, with us. Through Lone Star Plate, he called, sent several emails, and this guy saying that he had the answer, he had the secrets, he had the photos that were going to blow this all open, the proof that aliens exist. He's got, literally, he told me he's got selfies with them. That's what he said. I'm not joking. And so he said he was ex-Navy. He had thousands of pictures of UFOs and aliens, but that they got confiscated by the Navy, so it doesn't have them anymore. But he does have these new pictures, and he wanted me to, contact me and talk with me. So all I did was ask him, okay, just send me one picture so I can know you're not full of crap here, And of course, he can't send me the picture. He can only talk to me through some other phone that's his daughter or something else, whatever, this, that, the other. Or his lawyer wouldn't let, all these things I was like, dude, please, you got to just send me a picture, or something. We're not just going to throw you on the podcast. Like you know what I'm saying? I don't know what this is. This is nonsense. And yeah, he stopped responding at that point. Once I just push for one little piece of something, nothing. So, but yeah, I get messages all the time. My cousin works for the FBI, Patrick. I could put you in contact with them.
Yeah.
You know, no thanks. I don't want to know any secrets, y'all. I'll be honest. If there are some secret, like I don't want to know them. I'm almost scared to be told that kind of stuff. I don't want to be told anything I can't say publicly.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, isn't it?
Right. Like, or that person won't go public with it. Right. Like you've got to put a face to your name. And like, if you're willing to say that, that's different. Right. Like then this anonymous stuff that just completely takes over this whole topic, to be honest with you. But yeah, we do get contacted a lot. I get sent so many videos, documents, people like expecting me to go through like 1,000-page documents. I'm not joking. Like, check this out, Patrick. You're never going to believe this. Dude, what? I cannot look through all that. What are you, crazy? I cannot, you know, what do you think about this? What do you think? I don't mind that. I mean, keep it coming, you know, please. I love that people want to be involved. And every once in a while, there is a hidden gem in there that I use, a link or something. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. But it is a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It is a lot. I can't get to it all. But yeah, they figured out the secret, basically. Like I figured out the maze. Like I figured out how it all connects, Patrick. It's, you know, this guy from this and this guy from this country, and it goes back 100 years, Patrick, you know, like everyone's got it all worked out. So who knows, maybe one of these people is right and no one's listening to them. And I don't know. So anyway, yeah, we do get contacted, and feel free to contact us. Happy to put up something, but you got to be willing to put your name, your face behind it. And it can't be anything that's like, oh, you can't say this publicly, Patrick. Like, no, if you tell me I got a big mouth, I will spill the beans. So anyway, yeah, that is interesting. All right. I was going to move on to this David Grush thing. I don't know. Yes, this is the famous paper here. County Highway. Okay. The Republic of Occluded Facts County Highway exclusive interview with UFO whistleblower Dave Grush. Again, this paper is not available online. You have to physically get the paper to read the stories in it, or you can purchase a subscription and they'll deliver it to your house, but it's print only. It's not online. Very hipster. It's pretty cool, actually. And yeah, I saw some random tweet on Twitter from some guy with hardly no followers. The tweet had no likes, hardly, maybe 2 or 3, and just had a picture that they took with their phone. And I just thought of the title, you know, here. I thought that can't be real. Is it like an Onion thing? Like, what is that? Like, everyone knows all the David Grush interviews, you know, and I'm like, nobody's talking about this. I haven't heard anybody talk. So I'm just thinking this can't be real. But sure enough, it was. I did a lot of research. It took me a long time to find the paper because the picture they took didn't have the name of the paper in it. So I couldn't, you know what I mean? So I used the title of the article through exhaustive Google search to finally find this random other website that then led me to their website, and found their Twitter and blah, blah, blah. Then I was able to find where I could go buy the paper, and there just happened to be a shop near my house, and I went and bought it, and sure enough, look into it. It's legit. It's real. And I posted it online, made a video, and it went viral and UFO Twitter because no one had seen this. And I'm talking everyone, that day, especially that I posted the video, everyone was tweeting about this article. And
cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very cool. But another thing I learned is how many people stole our content and put it as they found it. I'm not joking. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Like,
frustrating, man.
Oh, it was so frustrating. I was like, guys, I was in the Twitter comments on all these different people. Hey, listen, I found that, not you. Hello, here's the link, people. I got blocked by some people. They were like, "Oh shit, he's blowing my cover. Block him, block him." But yeah, saw so many people just taking it, and putting it off as their own. But everyone was talking about it. They were talking about different parts in the interview, and everyone shared the PDF that I made of it. So I took a bunch of pictures and made a PDF of the article, not the whole paper. And everyone was sharing that. So like, I didn't name it right. Like I just named it just David Grush print interview. But after everyone just started sharing my PDF, I went and changed the name of the PDF to like vetted and all that, put that in there so people would know it came from us. But people were like, didn't want to share my video, but don't worry. I took care of it. I jumped in there. I shared it to a lot of people. We made a lot of new fans. We got a lot of subscribers.
Yeah, we did. I know.
Comments.
Cool.
Yeah,
really
it
cool.
was great. So yeah, that was very interesting to see what a lot of creators on Twitter do. They just literally take other people's stuff and like, I was like, come on, guys. They wouldn't even credit the newspaper. I was like, at least credit the newspaper. Like, because if you look at our videos, I make it a point to put all links to all of our sources, how I find everything, what credit everyone. They did the work, we're using it in conjunction. And in that video for this, I put so many links to how you can get this article, the writer, everything, because that's fair to me. And yeah, sure enough, the writer of the article, his name is Walter Kern. He's an author and journalist, prominent journalist. He tweeted out my video that I made of it, and he knows what's up, right? He knows who found this and put it online, and he thanked me in a subsequent tweet that thank you for interest in the paper, and thanks for getting publicity for it, like, because it helped and like getting it out, right? That I think that's the kind of publicity they want, is that kind of stuff, this kind of like raw guerrilla style, like, publicity. And he said he loved the show and loved what we were doing, and to keep it up, and very cool. Yeah, he was really cool.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really cool. And a few of the other journalists from the paper also retweeted the video and like, this is what they're looking for, and thank you, and this and that. Because they saw me through other tweets and other, also putting, hey, don't forget to tag the newspaper who wrote this. Like, let's they deserve all the real credit. They're the ones that got this article, got this interview. But it is amazing how many people just do that. But yeah, it's a great article. I recommend people go find a local store. You can only get it in the States. And go get it. So it's also like a nice piece of like memorabilia to have in a way, I think too. So I'm actually going to get it framed. And oh gosh, everything's backwards. I'm gonna get it framed and put it up on the wall behind me. I'm slowly building a UFO studio back here. Okay, I got an idea for right here. I'm gonna get a board, and we're gonna put up some pictures and that kind of stuff. Make it look whatever, like I'm working on some top secret project that I'm not. But but anyway, yeah,
like a blackboard, like in some of these TV shows, right? Where you can
that's it. That's what I'm gonna do. It's gonna be a white one. Put the red string, connecting all the dots to everything. And I'm just gonna put my face in the middle of it, like it all connects to me. Like, I'm the secret, guys. I hold the keys. It's me. I'm an alien. No, but yeah, it was really cool to find this. So odd. It was so random. So random, to be honest with you. But yeah, put our name out. A lot of people know about Vetted now. That is for sure. A lot of people know about us in the UFO world. Some aren't too happy with us, and I can't tell you why, because I don't know. Apparently just asking questions is not a good thing. We're considered anti-disclosure. Like, we don't want disclosure. I'm just like, what? I don't, it doesn't comprehend. So I don't focus on it. Most people love us. We got a lot of new fans that support us. And that's what I'm focused on. Those people. So anyway, yeah, that's the story of how I found County Highways, whatever this is, paper.
Incredible. I like the recording of when you went to the actual store to buy the newspaper, right?
Yeah,
So
that was great.
Yeah, I wanted to show that, you know, that I was there and I bought it. And yeah,
it was very frank. He was very frank, right? He said he hadn't sold many or any, right?
yeah, he had sold a couple, but, you know, not very many. I mean, again, he had it behind the counter in a box. I mean, you're not going to
Oh,
sell it.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not going to sell any that way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to put it out. How are people supposed to know about it? After that recording, I had a longer conversation with, I told him, I said, he's like, I don't have anywhere to put him. I was like, but right there. I started pointing to spots in the store. What are you talking about? You got space right there, right there, right there. I said, man, you got to put this out. How are people supposed to know? It's very interesting. You see a print, and all you got to tell people is that's print only, man. You can't get it online. It's kind of a cool, eclectic, you know, and they're real journalists. They're at the time I didn't know that, so maybe I should go back and talk to them, because at the time I didn't. I wanted to make sure this was real first before I did more digging. So I went and picked it up, came back, and that's when I started digging into who all the people were and the paper, and finding out that oh shit, these are honestly, all the journalists in here are super legit. They all write for, you know, well-known publications, New York Times, Washington Post, The Intercept, right? Like all these bigger Variety. They all write, you know, they're authors. Walter Kern, the guy who wrote this article, he wrote the novel Up in the Air. I don't know if you remember that movie with George Clooney called Up in the Air. That's based on Walter Kern's novel.
I didn't know that. Wow, incredible.
So yeah, they're not just like, you know, whatever. Again, he's got a podcast with Matt Taibbi, who's super well known, at least here in the States, as far as being, you know, journalists go. So this is like a legit paper. And it is very interesting. I gotta be honest, just as a paper. So yeah, that's the story of County Highway. So anyway, we'll keep doing that on Bedded here. Yeah, I can't promise something like this every week, y'all. Right? Like some
these stories are rare,
yeah.
Opportunities,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's just random, right? It just kind of fell in my lap, to be honest with you. Just perusing Twitter. Yeah, you know, you run across something. So
do you feel Twitter has gotten worse now since Elon Musk owns it?
That's a good question. I don't know, because I wasn't on there before. So I don't know. Twitter's very like, Twitter has a lot of bubbles. So depending on what bubble you're in Twitter, you may love it or like, you know, it doesn't make sense. Like you could be like, oh, my Twitter experience is great. Because you're in this bubble over here. Or someone that's in this bubble over here and be like, oh, it sucks. It's aggressive. People are mean. They're, you know, but you may not feel that in this other bubble. You know, people stick to like, you got just different versions of Twitter. So you got UFO Twitter, right? Which is basically all I peruse in. I don't really peruse anywhere else. You know, I don't know. It's a lot of weird shit on there. I mean, if I'm being honest, you know, there's just a lot of like weird videos, and everything's a UFO. I mean, people just, I swear there's some people that just all day long, all they do is see UFOs and film them, because they're filming 10 a day and posting them on Twitter. Look what I saw today. Look at that. Dude, how is that even possible? How can all of the, like, I don't know. Honestly, it's hard to tell who's real and who's not. Like, who's a bot, who's the real person. Yeah. You just don't know if you're interacting with a real person. And that is frustrating to me. It's the same thing with YouTube, Reddit, like in the comments, or, you know, you just don't know who you're talking to, because there's no picture. The name is weird. The username's weird. You just don't know if they're real people. And that is weird. I don't know. I just don't like that in a lot of ways. I understand people's anonymity and protecting that. And some people don't want to go out with their real name and whatever. And so I don't know, would it matter if it was AI as opposed to a real person? If the content is good, right? Like the comment is good. I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you see that as a future? Do you see it as valuable to do that?
I think we
Does that
have
make
to,
sense?
don't
I don't know.
we?
I don't know.
I think it is the future, and I think there's going to be all sorts of mechanisms for it to become relevant. And I don't think it's going to take over the world or anything like that. But I think we've
Yeah.
got to learn to work with it, not against it, and become better as a race
Yeah.
through it, I guess.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Of course. What do we do? I mean, if that's going to be half the internet, like you said, we're just going to have to lean into it. Like, what other choice do we have?
Yeah.
As long as it's not destroying that open discussion, I guess I don't see the harm in it.
Yeah.
But I would like to know that it's AI, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that would be nice to know, not me thinking it's a real person. But I don't know.
There's
I
something
mean,
around that. There needs to be some more sort of transparency about what is what.
yeah, that would just be nice to know
Yeah.
if it's a real person. Because again, I do often wonder if everyone I'm communicating with in YouTube comments is real.
Yeah.
Or they're real, but are they who they say they are? They're pretending to
Yeah.
be someone else. Does that make sense? Because
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, to be honest with you. I need to just focus on the videos and forget it. If they're pretending to be somebody else, let them. I don't know. I'll just deal with it.
I mean, the fact how much we appreciate and kind of value that newspaper, right? That old-fashioned newspaper that they just produced, and
Yeah.
that it's only not available digitally, I think tells you everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I kind of
Like,
miss these days. I miss them.
old-fashioned content, handmade,
Yeah,
just,
yeah. I miss getting the paper. I miss opening it up, reading it. You know, um,
Yeah. You just get it delivered. We don't
yeah,
get it delivered anymore.
yeah. It used to be right on the front door, right in
Oh,
the
that's
yard.
so American as well with the
Yeah, it'd be folded up, rolled up,
yeah.
thrown at your front door. My father did that as a kid. He was a
Yeah.
paper boy. I might have had a paper route when I was really young for a minute. If I remember, I did that too on my bike. Like nothing too crazy and not too far, but yeah. Um, yeah, you get the paper, you bring it in. Sometimes it's wet because it's in the front yard. And all the morning dew would be all over it, so it'd be half wet, and you're just like, oh god, get it inside. And everyone takes the parts they want. Give me the sports section. That's a big thing here in
Yeah.
America. Just give me that, or the when I was little, just the comics. I just wanted to read the comics that were in there, the comic strips. But yeah, there's something to be said about this kind of content to where we are now. Because yeah, it is an overflow, maybe. I don't know, too much. I don't know. I mean, the cat's out of the bag, right? We're not going back to
Yeah. Yeah.
this.
Yeah. There is no
You
going
know,
back.
there's just no going back. So I don't know. Yeah, guys, what do y'all? Anything else to add or whatever? I mean, I'm all UFO'd.
No, nothing for me this week, I'm afraid. Quiet week here in the UK. Well, busy
Yeah,
week for me, maybe. Maybe that's what's the problem, what the problem
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah, for sure. Anything, Sebastian?
no, no, that's
Before we
all.
go here,
That's all from us.
awesome. Well, all right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and watching. We do appreciate it. We'll see you guys on another episode of the Vetted Podcast. And again, thank you guys for supporting the channel. Hit that like button on the podcast. That helps out a lot. Leave your comments down below of the different stories we talked about. And if you know anything about that event that happened on October 20th, that would be great. Put that down. Contact the Galileo Project. Let them know as well. So if not, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys for tuning in.